there. This is Carrie Gatto with Keller Williams Realty, and today I'm interviewing Stefanie Johnson, who is the owner of Swap It in Medford. Hey, Stefanie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. And this is my little guy, Ryan. Thanks for including him
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, Ryan. You're being so good.
so far.
Knock on wood. So, Stefanie, maybe just describe your business for us to start us off.
Sure. So Swap It is a brick and mortar thrift store for women, but we do things a little different because we swap instead of shop. So swapping allows for really like freedom of shopping. When you swap, you don't have to think about return windows. You don't have to think about price tags. You don't have to think about if you truly love it and will wear it forever, because you can always just swap it back out. If it doesn't work for you, you just bring it back, no questions asked, and you get something else better.
That is really, really great. What a great business model. What inspired you to start your business?
Well, it's kind of on like two journeys at once that eventually overlapped. So
Hmm.
I was living in New York City and I was working for a nonprofit. So I had like a very, very modest salary, especially like in New York. And I was kind of like, I was climbing the ladder there a bit. I was starting to meet politicians. I was starting to meet really high end, $1 million donors. I was starting to be photographed in, little publications and things like that. And so what I wore was starting to matter. And I felt like I had no clue how to dress myself. And I certainly like didn't have a budget to do it. I ended up hiring this personal stylist in New York. It was literally $800. It was $400 for her to come to my house. It was $400 for her to take me shopping. And she said we had to go to Bloomingdale's, and I finally convinced her to go to Macy's. But we're talking about, $800. We're talking about 2000. I don't know. We're talking a good amount of years ago, right? Like still a
Yeah,
lot of money today, but back then it was more than it is now. And I was making
yeah.
nothing, but it was so important to me. I talked to my husband now, but like my fiance at the time, and was like, hey, can we do this? And we decided that it was just worth it. And we cashed in like all of our credit card points because she said you needed to go shopping with at least $1,000. So now we're talking about like an $1,800 event.
Yeah.
And so we cashed in our points, which is how I ended up at Macy's because we didn't have points at Bloomingdale's. And I went with her, and I wasn't so thrilled with the results, honestly, after all that. And then in my other sort of path, I was doing this greening fellowship. So I was learning a lot about, trash and chemicals and all kinds of things. And the thing that really struck me was that, I've heard different stats, but the one I hear most often is that the average person in America throws out 70 pounds of textiles a year. And that's pretty
Wow.
insane. Yeah, it's high. It's really high. And then
Mhm.
on the other side, so that's just trash that goes into the landfill. Besides the fact that it goes into the landfill, it's the trucks that bring it to the landfill. It's your taxes that pay for the trucks that take it to the landfill, right? Like there's no good happening in that process.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it also takes a ton of resources just to make the clothes, right? To make the t-shirt you're wearing takes a ton of water, and other resources, good and bad. Most of it gets shipped from overseas. It's just there's really very little that's good about the whole process.
Yeah. And
So
I always think about too, like when you think about clothes and the cost of clothes, you can go cheap, right? There are cheap clothing stores out there, but then I'm like, where are these cheap clothes coming from?
right,
Sweatshops? Who's making these clothes? And it scares me. So you're also cutting that out of the loop too.
exactly, totally. So my desire to like look nice and upscale and play the part that I was growing into, and my desire to also not, kind of not to be over dramatic, but to destroy the planet, were like coming to a head, right? It was kind of like what's more important to me. And I decided like that I didn't want to have to choose, right? And so um, that's kind of like how the idea came about. And then it went through about a billion iterations until what it is now, where we do
Hmm.
swapping. And then as an upgrade, we also offer personal styling services.
Yeah.
because not everyone loves secondhand shopping. So if you have somebody help you, like, everyone loves that.
Yep. That is, and it makes it fun.
Right, exactly.
Good
And you find the
experience.
pieces you want, it's much faster and better results.
Yeah. So, what would your customers say that they love most about your business?
I think that they're able to experiment with their style. So
Mm,
before I said, like the freedom that swapping brings, and part of that is like if you go into a store, this is a real story. Someone just like a customer texted me the other day. She said, I got these jeans that are like ripped. And she was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to wear them. And she never would have bought them in a store because if she's not sure, what are you going to spend the money for? And she has 2 kids and works full time. So like she's not returning the pants if she doesn't use them, like there's always that fake thought of like, oh, I'm totally going to return it. But she took them home. I don't know the results, but like she got to experiment with her style. And that's something like I hear again and again. Someone, they come to the register and they're like, I don't know if I'm going to wear it, but I really want to try it. Or like, I've always been scared to try. We get a lot of people that want to look like they just came out of anthropology, but they don't know how to pull it off. And they're like,
I
okay,
love
I'm
that
just going
story.
to like try these pieces. And if I can't pull it off and I don't feel comfortable, then I'm just going to bring them back. And so you get to play with your style, who you are, who you want to show up as. It's just fun and there's no consequence to it. It's just fun.
Yeah, totally. Now, what about your greatest challenges? Or
I
maybe
mean,
one.
to be completely honest, I think one of our biggest challenges is sizing. We're kind of like a circular economy of clothing. We're a members only store. And so members are the only people that can bring clothes in and they're the only people that can bring clothes home. So some sizes are more popular than others and they go quickly. And I would also very much like to be size inclusive. Right now, I say that membership is best for size 00 to size 16. And I'd very much like to include plus sizes, but it's a little bit of a chicken and egg situation. If I don't have the members that are that size join, I don't have the clothing to give them. And so that's something I've been like struggling with and figuring out because I very much like, and I would very much like to be more size inclusive, but my store is also, it's a small space. So I don't know how much we can accommodate. So.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's a pretty big range anyway that you're already carrying. So that's good. Um, what do you love most about the community and the neighborhood? And how long have you been there? How long have you had your business?
So we're in South Medford. We've been there for like just over 3 years. And I really like it down there. Like it's gotten more like fun and more vibrant. There's a few other like younger business owners that have opened over there. There's new salons that are bringing in like some new energy across the street.
Nice.
It's great. There's tons of people always walking around. It's a fun, vibrant like community over there. And it's not all just like tough students. There's like, a lot of community, a lot of people that live in Medford, like hanging out there too.
Nice. Um, have you witnessed any significant changes since you've been around?
Um, I'm trying to think, have I seen any significant changes? I mean, I would just say that there are more, and not just in South Medford, but in Medford in general, there are a lot of cool, like small businesses opening. And that's what ends up making Medford like stay relevant and be a fun place to live. You don't, or at least I'll speak for myself. I don't want to live in a city that's all chains, right? Like that's not fun. That's like anywhere in America. You don't want to be anywhere. You want to be, in Medford. So
Right.
I love that is happening. There's some cool new restaurants. There's some cool new little shops. I think it's great.
Yeah, that is really cool. Um, and why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
I think it's important to shop local. I mean, for a lot of reasons, and just to, tie into what I said before, if you shop local, those small, cute stores, those cool restaurants to go out to, those little, clubs you can go to on a Friday night, those will all keep popping up, right? Because there's a demand, there's money for it. Like that's what makes your town unique is all these local places. If you don't shop them, you might be happy they're there, but if you don't support them, they're not going to stay around. Besides the fact, that the money stays more local and it helps, distribute, not to get too into economics, but it helps distribute the wealth a little bit, more evenly, local jobs, all of that sort of thing. But I do really think it's so important for towns and communities to make sure that they're small business owners that not only serve them in a crisis or even on an everyday basis, but also it just makes the town cool and fun. It helps your property values, right? Like everyone wants to live next to a cool place.
Anything exciting that customers should know about coming up?
Well, our personal styling is back. It took a little hiatus during COVID because the one-on-one in a small space wasn't the best idea. But now it's back, yay! And we are going to be doing a pants event for next month, right? We're in March now. It'll be the beginning of April because the pants people struggle with so much. Pants have to fit the largest part of your body in one piece of clothing. And so it's tough. It's tough to get all that in one piece. Plus, pants are mass produced, so they're meant to fit everyone. So really, they fit nobody. So we're gonna have our stylist out to help you shop for pants. And believe it or not, some people are going back into the office and everything. So we have more people looking for work pants because they got rid of everything, a few years ago at this point. So we're gonna be providing that service. And so if you need it, we'd love for you to come in, book with us.
Okay, great. And do people have to become a member in order to do that, or
not for that event? No, it's a great way to try us out, to meet us, see the space, see what we can offer.
Very cool. That's great. And lastly, what's the best way for people to contact you?
So we have a website. The easiest one is swapit.cool.cool. And when you go on there, there'll be a button that says start for free. And if you sign up for our email list, you get a free swap. So you could come in and switch something out, something you don't like from your closet, get something good from ours. And we also are most active on Facebook, and that's at A Swapping Good Time.
Okay, fantastic. What a great way to clean out some stuff this spring and get some new energy in. So awesome. Thank you so much, Stefanie, and thank you, Max. It was great talking to you.
You too. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.